Hi everyone, my name is Elsa, welcome back to my channel. So today I want to do an over tag video because they are so much fun to do, and please do them as well. I'd love to know your answers to all these questions, but today the one we are doing is the anti-tbr tag. So I'm so excited. Please don't take this personally, like I really think everyone should read the books they love, and I also think we can't all love the same books. Like, it's impossible. If you don't have the same taste as me or not the exact same one, like, it's perfectly okay, guys. So yeah, let's start this. The first question is a popular book everyone loves that you have no interest in reading. So I have two for this one. The first one is the Starless Sea. And it's only because I didn't like The Night Circus. Like, I had to DNF it, and it's really, if you love it, it's fine. Really, I'm super happy you enjoyed it. The problem is, it's really not a book for me. I don't care about settings and atmospherical books. Like, if you don't have strong plots and very complex and developed characters, I'm not interested in the book. Even if the writing is beautiful, I don't care if I don't have the characters and the plot. And in this book, I didn't think like I had them, and the things I got from it weren't the things I like, and I wasn't interested in it. So I had to DNF it, and The Starless Sea was written by the same author, and from what I heard, it's very confusing, and same, the people who loved it for the writing and the atmosphere, not for the plot and the characters. And as that's what I'm here for, I don't think I will love it. Please, if you disagree and you think I would love it, tell me in the comments, but like I said, it really must have a strong plot and very complex characters. And the other one is The Fault in Our Stars, because I don't like sad books that end with a bad ending. Let me explain. If you have sad things happening in a book, I can be totally okay with it if there's a reason for it, like you know why it happens, and it's dealt with, and you come out with a strong ending, a beautiful ending, and a lot of things, you know, that are heartwarming and make you see life basically in a brighter, sunnier way. Books that end with characters dying, especially if they are in a romantic relationships, I hate with all my heart. Like, I feel like I've wasted my time because the book is just breaking my heart. Like, I feel so devastated after reading them, and it really takes me 2 or 3 days to get over them, and I'm just bad. I'm just in a terrible mood. I'm just so, the things they do to me are awful, and I don't think like I can take anything away from them because I'm just so angry that it ended with a sad ending. Like, life is sad enough. I just want books that end with a beautiful and happy ending. Please. And so yeah, The Fault in Our Stars, I haven't read it, but I know that. I think it's not even a spoiler because everyone knows that. Like, you don't read this book for the happy ending. And yeah, I don't want that, and that's why I'm never reading it. A classic book or author you don't have any interest in reading. Émile Zola. He's a famous French writer from the 19th century that we all have to read in high school, and I hate him. Like, I hate his books so much. They are very boring, nothing happens, the characters are all awful, but not in a good way, you know, great characters you still like. No, just awful people. You don't want to read about them, you just want to kill them. And the things that happen are just awful as well. It's always then the endings are always terrible. Basically everyone's unhappy, life is shit, and you shouldn't live anymore. That's basically the message I got from every single book I read from him. And there's this long descriptions, like he can write a description for 2 pages long. No, I hate these books. Then, an author whose books you have no interest in reading. So, Julia Quinn, because I have no interest in romance, especially the Bridgerton romance, because of the thing that happened. If you know, you know, the very problematic thing that happened. I haven't read it for this specific reason, because I was warned by Merphy Napier, actually. And you know, I can't read a book that glorifies that kind of things. So yeah, no, never Julia Quinn. Not John Green either, because his books don't speak to me. They are not, I'm not the reader for them, basically, because young adult contemporary is always, you know, it's a hit and miss for me, and his books specifically are too sad and too just not something I want to read. A problematic author whose books you have no interest in reading. I think I would say Terry Goodkind. So Terry Goodkind isn't a problematic author. I think he's not anyway, but I read only one book from him and it really hurt me. Like, it was not some, oh god, it was just content warning please, and it was just awful, awful. And so I promised myself I would never read another book written by him again. And then I stumbled upon a video by Daniel Green. Daniel Green is a great booktuber, one of my favorite ones, and he usually doesn't do rants, like he never does any rants, but he had one rant about this specific author and about his books and who he is as a human being, because he's just an awful human being, and he's, you know, always dismissing the fantasy genre, although he's a fantasy writer, and I hate this type of people. So yeah, please watch his rant. It's so fun to watch. Even if you don't know Terry Goodkind, please just watch it. It's so fun to see him become so angry about his books and about him. And yeah, so because of that, I say Terry Goodkind. I will never ever read another book by him. An author you have read a couple of books from and have decided their books are not for you. Sarah J. Maas. Sarah J. Maas, I understand why so many people love her, but I have a really hard time with inconsistencies. Like, I see them all everywhere. And a small one I can forgive, but in her books there are a lot of small ones, and they kept piling on, and at some point I just couldn't take it anymore. I read Front of Glass, the four ones. It's a long story. I wouldn't have read them if I hadn't had to, but I had to, and that's why I read them. And I would have stopped by the end of the second one, because I liked the first one. The second one lost me with the end. And the third one and the fourth one, they just, you know, sink the ship. Because I love stories, and I don't see the point in starting a relationship if you're going to just start with another one later on and then another one. I just hate that type of thing, especially as it was still in Stalovi for me, and I didn't like the main character. So no, thank you. Sarah J. Maas isn't for me. A genre you have no interest in, or a genre you tried to get into and couldn't. So I have several for this, but I could change my mind still. I could change my mind. The one I think is the one I really don't like is memoirs. So memoirs and bibliographies I have no interest in. Like, just, I can't explain it. I just don't want to. I read for escapism. Reading about the life of someone who really existed, who really lived in our world, I have no interest in. And if I want to know about them, I prefer to read their Wikipedia page than to spend hours and hours reading their experience. Like, I'm just not interested in them. The other one is magical realism. So maybe I will find a book someday with magical realism that I like. So far I haven't. Like, I've read 5 or 6 with magical realism, and every time I hate it. Like, it's really weird and confusing for me, and I just don't like it. In books, usually I just don't like it. But maybe someday I will find one I love, but so far I haven't. I also don't read horror, but I'm thinking about maybe doing it, because I'm a chicken. So until now I didn't see the point in reading a book just for, you know, being frightened. But I've thought about it, and even though I have no interest in horror movies, I'm thinking maybe in a horror book could be interesting. I don't know. At least I'd like to experiment it. So if you have good horror books to recommend me, please tell me. I think I want to give them a shot. And finally, we have romance. I talked about it in another video, but I don't like sex scenes in books. If you have sex scenes in books, I don't like them. I will skip them, but it will be okay. But if your book is about the sex scenes, if you have several, if you're supposed to be interested in them, then no, it's not for me. And so far romance hasn't been for me. But if you have romance books that don't have sex scenes, only one at the very end, and with no insta love, because that's also my problem with romance books. I think like they fall in love way too quickly without knowing really each other. So I want to see them grow. I want slow burns. I want to see them pining for each other for so long. And that's why I love stories in fantasy books and in sci-fi, because as a subplot I think it can be really well done. But when it's at the forefront of the book, when the entire story is about that, usually they fell flat for me. But if you have books with romantic love stories that are romance but don't have the things I said, that are slow burns with no insta-love, great characters and no sex scenes, please tell me and I will read them right away. Then we have a book you have bought but will never read. I don't have any actually, because not at the moment anyway. Maybe last year, but no, I don't have any books like or I started like I have DNF'd Sorcery of Thorns and the 10,000 Doors of January. They weren't bad, but they were going to be 3 stars. I read half of them and I knew I wasn't going to love them more than that, and so I just decided to stop there. But I can see why people love them. It just, you know, it wasn't incredible for me, it was just okay, and I don't like reading okay books. A series you have no interest in reading, or a series you started and have DNF'd. So I have 3. And actually, you can talk me out of it, guys. So please listen to me and listen to why I don't like them. If you think it's going to get better afterwards and it's worth it, please tell me, and then I will finish them. Because they have so many good reviews that I'm always thinking if I made a mistake by not continuing with the series. And at the same time, I really don't feel like I had the same experience with the series as everyone else, and that's why I stopped. But yeah, tell me. So first one is An Ember in the Ashes. I liked the first book, like the plot, the setting, I really liked it. The main characters, I wasn't crazy about them, but I liked them. I really liked them. What bothered me was the it's not even a love triangle, it's a love quartet. The love quartet was awful, like awful. And I have to say, this book I kind of picked up because I wanted a beautiful love story, and I didn't get that. Like, the love story was awful for me. Insta-love and love quartet, the worst combination possible in the entire universe. And I started the second book thinking it might get better, but the love story was just, I read half of it, but the love story, it kept being insta-love, it kept being the love quartet, and I just couldn't take it anymore. So I read half of it. If you think the love story becomes beautiful afterwards, honestly, from where I am, I don't think it will get better. And the plot and the setting are interesting, but not interesting enough for me to read them for that reason. Like, I really wanted to read them for the love story, and the love story I didn't get, so I don't see why I should continue with the series. The other one is The Cruel Prince. I was a bit bored reading it, but it was okay. Like, there were great things going on at times, but towards the end, especially, like, there are things I really liked in the plot. The setting was good. There are many things I liked about this book, but the love story was staying awful, like really awful. Insta-love, I didn't see any connection between the two characters. I wanted them, so from the start, and I knew who she was going to end with. So every time they were in the same room together, I just was, you know, scrutinizing for, you know, hints of a love story. I didn't get any until the very, very end, and then it came out of nowhere. So does it get better, or does it does it not? I don't know, but so far I'm really not convinced by the love story, and the rest isn't enough for me to continue with the series. And the last one is The Bear and the Nightingale. The writing is beautiful, the setting is beautiful, the atmosphere is perfect. Yeah, like, you really feel like you're there. So yeah, that's great, but that's not why I picked that book. I picked the book for the plot and the characters. And I read 35%, yeah, around 35%. And so far, too many time jumps. I didn't see the family connection. Like, for me, I didn't see the family connection. The main character I didn't like. I didn't feel anything for her, actually. The characters weren't developed enough for me. You didn't see any, and you didn't see inside their heads, so you didn't see their thoughts, so they were, you know, strangers for me. Like, I saw them doing things, but I didn't felt anything for them, didn't like the connection, didn't like the relationships. And the plot, it was so slow, and I don't like slow books. And this one was very, very slow. And 35%, nothing had happened. And I think some of the things are problematic. Like, I get what the author was going for, like, it's because she wanted to respect the time and the period, but still, watching 15 years old girls getting pregnant is just really awful, and getting married and getting, you know, marital rate in their marriage and getting pregnant, and then 12 years old boy getting married too, and then the family dynamic after that. I just wanted to throw up reading that. So yeah, maybe it's realistic, but it's just awful, and I don't want to read that. So yeah, tell me if it gets better. I heard it gets better, but so far I was not into it at all, and I don't want to force myself. But like I said, if you really think after what I said that I'm making a mistake, I will reconsider and I will continue with the series. But so far, I don't see how it could get better for me. You know, if you loved it, that's great. I'm so happy for you. But I have so many series I want to start this year. I can't waste my time on series I'm not totally invested in. And finally, we have a new release you have no interest in reading. So I have three for you guys. The first one is A History of What Comes Next by Sylvain Neuvel. So I love this author. I'm currently reading the Famous Files by him. I love it so much. I also read the short story The Test, which was incredible. So I love that. But booktubers and reviews that also love him, they didn't like his last book, and from what they say, I don't think I will like it either. And the plot I have absolutely no interest in. Like, it's just not something I want to read. The two other ones, it's because they are fantasy romance, and from what I heard, it's just insta love with sex scenes. So it's Serpent and Dove and From Blood and Ash. So really not for me. So yeah, that's it for me, guys. Please tell me what you thought in the comments. Please don't hate me. If you don't agree with me, it's perfectly fine. If you love these books, I'm so happy for you guys. I probably have books I love that you don't love, and it's just okay, you know. That's life. We can't love the same things all the time. So yeah, please tell me what you thought, and if I should continue with the free series I mentioned. I really want to know. So yeah, thank you for watching. Please don't hesitate to leave a comment and like and subscribe. And yeah, see you around.